Washington in the 1700s was little more than a dream carved into marshland, a capital city that existed first on paper, then slowly, painfully, in brick and timber. By 1800, fewer than 5,000 souls lived here, scattered across muddy avenues that connected half-finished government buildings through forests and swamps. Yet this was the seat of a newborn republic, and every structure rising from the Potomac floodplain carried the weight of an experiment the world was watching. In this video, I use modern AI tools to bring historic paintings, engravings, and prints of early Washington to life, allowing us to shift perspective, change camera angles, and move through the same scenes in ways their original artists never could. We'll walk the capital's first streets, stand before its unfinished monuments, and feel the tension between grand ambition and raw wilderness. This is the Potomac riverfront in 1791. This view shows the wide, brown sweep of the Potomac, its surface stippled with sails and timber rafts. In the foreground, surveyors wade through tall grass, their chains and rods glinting in the morning sun. Beyond them, the Maryland shore rises in soft, wooded hills. By 1791, President Washington and Pierre L'Enfant had selected this 10-mile square of wilderness to become the nation's capital. The air smells of river mud and cut wood. You hear axes biting into oak, the shouts of laborers clearing brush, the creak of wagons hauling stone from nearby quarries. But this frontier landscape carries danger. Malaria breeds in the stagnant pools left by spring floods. Rattlesnakes nest in the underbrush. The few scattered tobacco plantations rely on enslaved labor, and the violence of that system shadows every acre. L'Enfant's grand avenues exist only as stakes driven into the earth, and Congress debates whether this swampy site will ever be habitable. This spot mattered because it balanced northern and southern interests, a compromise that kept the fragile Union intact. The capital would belong to no single state, a neutral ground where laws and treaties could be forged. Within a decade, much of this marshland would be drained and graded. Pennsylvania Avenue would cut a diagonal scar through the forest, connecting the president's house to the Capitol. Today, the Potomac waterfront is lined with monuments and memorials, but if you stand at the water's edge near the Kennedy Center, you can still feel the weight of the river, the same current that once carried L'Enfant's vision upstream. This view shows the president's house under construction in 1798. In the mid-ground, masons perch on wooden scaffolding, troweling mortar between blocks of Aquia Creek sandstone. The north facade is nearly complete, its Ionic columns rising pale against the sky. In the foreground, enslaved workers mix lime and haul buckets, their faces shadowed by wide-brimmed hats. Beyond the house, the land drops away into bramble and meadow. By 1798, the Executive Mansion, designed by Irish architect James Hoban, was taking shape, though President John Adams would not move in until November 1800. The site smells of fresh-cut stone and wet plaster. You hear the ring of hammers, the rasp of saws, the low voices of men speaking English, Irish Gaelic, and the languages of West Africa. Dust hangs in the air, but danger lingers here. Construction accidents are common: scaffolding collapses, ropes snap, stones crush fingers and feet. The enslaved workers endure brutal conditions, their labor uncompensated and their lives subject to the whims of their owners. And politically, the Federalist government is fragile. The election of 1800 will soon pit Adams against Jefferson in a contest that threatens the nation's stability. This building mattered because it symbolized continuity, a house for the presidency itself, not any one man. It announced to European powers that the American Republic intended to endure. The house would be gutted by British torches in 1814, then rebuilt and expanded over 2 centuries. Today, the White House stands on the same foundation, its sandstone walls painted white to cover the scorch marks of that war. Remarkably, this is a site you can still visit today, though the marshland around it has long since vanished beneath lawns and pavement. This is Capitol Hill in 1800. This view shows a low, wooded ridge crowned by the Capitol's unfinished north wing. In the foreground, Pennsylvania Avenue is little more than a rutted track, ankle-deep in mud after a rainstorm. A few wooden boarding houses cluster near the base of the hill, their chimneys smoking. The Capitol itself is a skeleton, walls rising from a sandstone base, scaffolding clinging to the half-built dome, canvas tarps flapping in the wind. By November 1800, Congress convened here for the first time, though only the Senate chamber was habitable. The air smells of wet earth and wood smoke. You hear the rumble of carts, the lowing of cattle driven to market, the distant ring of the stonemason's chisel. congressmen trudge up the hill in muddy boots, complaining of the primitive accommodations. If there's another city, another moment, another scene you'd like me to bring to life, let me know in the comments. I'd love to explore it with you. Again, thank you so much.